everyone, welcome back to Mama's in the Kitchen. Today Mama's got her crock pot out again. You know that's going to mean that we're going to make something warm and filling, and hopefully that's going to last a couple of days. Today Mama's decided to make chili. This is just going to be regular old chili. It's not going to be spicy. It hasn't won any awards. It's just regular. But that's how we roll around here. We're pretty regular. That's okay, right? Now, I do have a bunch of ingredients here, and I'm going to also tell you some other ways that you can make this stretch even more, because we are trying to stretch our food and our dollars these days, aren't we? We're trying. We're going to try to do that, right? Okay, so what do we need? Ground gold. Okay, right? Let me know what the price of ground beef is in the comments below in your area. This is $5.87. It's the cheapest I could find without going to Sam's Club. Okay? And you can do that. It's a little cheaper there if you want to do that. Okay? Our next ingredient is frozen bell pepper and onions. Now, you can buy this fresh if you want to. But honestly, depending on the time of year, you may be able to get it cheaper frozen. This time of year, it is fall time, and so these are not in season. So getting them fresh is a lot more expensive than getting them frozen, okay? So we're going to use this today. We have 2 cans of kidney beans. We have 2 cans of black beans. 1 32-ounce carton of beef broth, 1 can of diced tomatoes, 14.5 ounce, 1 can of 15-ounce tomato sauce. Now, to season this, we have a lot of seasonings. We have onion powder, garlic powder, cumin, regular chili powder, ancho chili powder, smoked paprika, regular paprika. I also like to add a little Worcestershire sauce and a little steak sauce. And of course I'm going to also add some salt and pepper to taste. All of this is my opinion. This is what I like in my chili. The good thing about chili is you can make it any way that you like. You don't have to add Worcestershire or steak sauce. You don't have to add any of these seasonings. Instead of the seasonings, you can add a packet of chili mix from the grocery store. You can do that too. So, you don't have to add the beans. You can add pinto beans. You can add navy beans. Whatever kind you like, whatever kind is in your pantry. You don't have to add the tomatoes. But I like the tomatoes. Okay? If you don't have hamburger, it's okay. This is still going to be very filling. Okay? So, let's get our crock pot on and get this recipe started. Okay, I'm browning my ground beef. And now I'm just going to simply add everything to the crock pot. I did drain my beans this time because I'm going to use the broth. Now, when I was growing up, my mother was and is the queen of making a meal stretch. She could take a pantry full of who knows what and just make gourmet meals out of it, and she still can do that. She's gifted at that. I love you, Mom. Shout out to my mom. I love you. Okay. So, one way that my mom made chili stretch is she would add macaroni. About a cup or so macaroni. Now you say, if you add macaroni, it isn't chili. Well, maybe not. But it made it stretch farther. If you did want to add macaroni, I would suggest about a cupful. That's something that she added because macaroni was something that we always had in the house. And it did make it stretch. Another thing that my mom would do is she would make a big old pot of pinto beans. And then after we'd had that for a couple of days, she would turn the rest of those beans into chili. It was so delicious. And usually it didn't last 2 days. It was so good. And go the diced tomatoes. Like I said, if you don't like diced tomatoes, you don't have to add them. Some people like whole stewed tomatoes. You can add those if you like. And our tomato sauce. Now our crock pot is getting full. I'm going to pour in this whole container of beef broth. Something that I've learned is that if I don't use an entire container of something, usually it goes bad. So I just find a way to use the whole thing if I can. That way it doesn't go to waste. Now this is soupy. If you want to make it less soupy, you don't have to add in the broth, or you can just add part. If you can your own broth, you can add like a pint instead of a quart. You can do that. Here's my kitty again. I don't know where he is, what he's doing. Another thing is, even if you wanted to thicken this up even more, you can add tomato paste, and I probably will do that. Okay, now I'm going to add in the pepper and onion. Ooh, that smells so delicious. I don't know if you can see, but my crock pot is nearly full. I have about a ½ inch left of room in there. Okay, so whenever my hamburger is done, I'll bring you back in to add that, as well as the spices. Be right back. Okay, I've decided to go ahead and add in 1 can of tomato paste. This is completely optional. It will make it just a little sweeter, but it will also thicken it up. I love that tomato flavor, my chili. So while I'm getting that in there, I also wanted to show you a couple of ways where you could make it spicy if you want. I'll finish that in a minute. Red pepper flakes are always a good option. Less is more unless you like heat. Another option is tomatoes with green chilies. You can add this and it'll give it a little bit of spice. I'm not going to do that today. But if you want to make it spicy, that's how you can do it. You can also add hot sauce and sriracha. Whatever you like. Whatever you have. If you want to make it spicy, that would be my suggestion. Okay, I'm going to get this tomato paste in and I'm going to add the hamburger. Be right back. Okay, I have my hamburger cooked and drained. If you want to see how I drain my hamburger without pouring it down the sink, I have a card up for you for a short on how I do that. There are other ways you can do it, but that's just how I do it. Okay, so I'm mixing in my ground beef hamburger. And now we have some meat in there. The beans would provide enough protein. Again, if you don't have the hamburger, it's okay, because the beans are going to provide plenty of protein. Now, the seasonings and the spices are strictly to taste. I'm going to add in some pepper here. Not too much. Some salt. Go easy on the salt. I'm going to go ahead and add some Worcestershire. All to taste. Ooh, it smells good. I know that. Add some steak sauce in. Just added the rest of that bottle. Gives it a little flavor. Alright. Now, you have onions in there, so you may not need a ton of onion powder, but I just love it. No man garlic. We are besties for the resties. I'm adding in 1 to 2 teaspoons of this stuff apiece. Regular paprika. Hello, sir. Smoked paprika. I like that smoky flavor. You could also add liquid smoke in here. That would be a good addition. Okay, let's add some ancho chili powder to give it a little bit of depth of flavor. Cumin. You don't have to add cumin in if you don't want to make it taste like cumin. And regular old chili powder. A bunch of that. Now, like I said, you can use the chili seasoning packet from the grocery store. That's perfectly acceptable. I don't have any today, but I do have all these spices, so that's what I'm going to use. This is a beautiful color. I have a full crock pot. I have this on high right now. It's going to need to cook a few hours just to get all those flavors in together. But that's pretty much the recipe. Very similar to taco soup, yet a little different. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for just being here. I'm so glad you're here. Okay? Love to my children. Love to my mama. Love to my family. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.